Ann here, and today we're going to do a nice relaxing stretch to help you sleep better all night, especially if you're dealing with insomnia issues. So let's take those feet out shoulder width apart and roll those shoulders back and just take a nice inhale here. We're going to inhale those arms up and reach all the way down towards our toes. If you can rest those palms on the floor or the back of your hands. And then we're going to roll all the way back, one vertebrae at a time. Let's do that again. Nice big inhale up. And let's round all the way down, really stretching your hamstrings here, your low back. And round it up. One more time. Nice big inhale up, roll all the way down, and this time we're going to stay here for a few seconds. You should be able to stretch a little bit farther than you did in the previous rollovers. This one feels so good. Now let's reach to one ankle. If you can't bend down this far, you can grab at your knee or the top of your shins. A really deep hamstring stretch here, releasing any tension you may have gained through the day. Now I'm going to turn so you can see my form here. You're going to come down and you're going to lift your heels off the floor, stretching out those calf muscles. This one feels so good. This is a perfect stretch if you walk around in high heels all day. Okay, now let's sit on those legs. You're going to take a nice big inhale up, really extend those arms, reach your fingertips towards the ceiling and lean forward. Now you're going to walk those arms out, using your hands if you need to. And try to place your head in between your arms, pushing as far down as you can here. Really open up the upper and lower back. Now we're going to open up the chest and the abdominals. Lean far back on those hands and really try to inhale and exhale regularly here. Sometimes in this position, people tend to hold their breaths. Now you're going to come onto all fours and we're going to loosen up that back again and those abs, doing a nice big rounded cat stretch. Okay, now we're going to come down onto our stomachs, and you're going to go into a low cobra pose here, really squeezing, contracting the lower back. Squeeze your glutes. Sometimes it helps if you bring those legs together, touching those heels. It helps you to isolate the lower back. Okay, now let's bring those legs up towards our back. We're going into a little boat pose here. You're going to grab the top of your feet and you're just going to do little pulls. Sometimes this can hurt your pelvic bones, so if that tends to happen, you can just roll up a towel underneath that. Wonderful. Okay, let's go into a wide leg child's pose here, making sure that those legs are very far apart because this will help to stretch out the hip flexors as well as the hamstrings and low back. Often when people are anxious or stressed, they tend to have really tight hip flexors. So let's continue stretching out those hips, and we're going to go into a butterfly pose. If your hips are tight, you'll notice that your knees don't come down quite as far as you might like, but that's okay. Just work up to this. Get a nice deep stretch here in the inner thighs as well, leaning as far forward as you can. And enjoy this. You should not feel pain, just a little bit of discomfort. That's okay, that's normal. Okay, now we're going to stretch out those obliques and low back, but this is a wonderful stretch too if you're dealing with digestion problems, if you tend to be constipated or bloated, or you tend to have pain. This will really help get everything moving. And if the intestines are working properly, then we automatically will have less anxiety, less negative thoughts, because serotonin is created in the gut. So it's really, really important that we keep that functioning well. Okay, let's reach those arms up. And now we're going to reach towards the toes. Again, you may not be able to go down quite as far here, but don't worry, it's not a competition. Just go as far as you can. Go to the point where you feel a nice deep stretch in the back of the hamstrings, low back, and upper back. That's all you want here. Okay, now we're going to go into an even deeper stretch for those hip flexors, and we're going to stretch out the glutes, which this is an amazing stretch if you have sciatica problems or low back pain. This will help you so much to feel better. You can do this one anywhere and as often as you like. I'm telling you, it's a miracle stretch. I love this stretch. And you're going to lean down forward, and now we got to switch sides. And you might notice that one side is a little bit tighter than the other side. Just kind of go slower on that side if that's the case, and work into it. Wonderful. I could stay here all day. Very good. All right, now let's come onto our backs, and we're going to go into a high bridge pose. Now, the higher you go, the better here, because this, again, will help you stretch out your hip flexors. It will stretch out your quadriceps, the top of your legs, but you're also flexing or tightening your lower back and your lower abdominals. So you're getting a strength move here as well, which is great. We love that. But now we need to stretch out those glutes again. So take both knees into your chest and pull them apart so you get a deep stretch for your inner thighs here as well. So good. Okay, now we're going to stretch the low back again, and we're going to help those intestines. So bring one leg crossing over the opposite leg, but try to keep both shoulders on the ground if you can here. This is great. Sometimes you feel a little bit of a crack in your low back, but that's totally normal. Okay, now we're switching sides. Again, try to keep both shoulders on the ground here. And try to touch that knee to the opposite side on the floor. Very good. Okay, now we're going to bring those legs into a butterfly stretch position. You're going to come up into a low crunch here. Bring those arms straight in front of you and really squeeze those upper abs, isolate them. Very, very good. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Last exercise. And bring it all the way down, stretching those arms up over your head, bringing those legs straight out in front of you. Make everything elongated here. Inhale and exhale. And just let your body be heavy into the floor. Relax every muscle here. Enjoy what you just did. Stay here for a few minutes if you can. And try to forget about all the anxieties and worries you had throughout the day. Relax, turn the TV off, turn the computer off, and prepare yourself for an extremely restful sleep. As always, thank you so much for following Cocoa Lime Fitness. Please subscribe if you haven't already so that I can keep making these videos for free. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a restful sleep.